Hey guys, this is weird, but we're doing it somewhere else. Why not? Enjoy the weather out. So we are doing a review for Man from U.N.C.L.E. I feel like we're doing a lot of movie reviews, which is good, because we get to see a lot of movies.
For someone who has no money, I'm certainly going to movies.
Hey, it's like $9 in matinee.
I'm just
not
laughing.
bad.
I've literally done 3 movies this week, and I'm like, yeah, I still have no money, but I'm like, Dad, I need money for the movies again.
Yeah, Fantastic Four 5 times.
Oh my god.
Those are all the movies we saw. It's just Fantastic Four, over and over again.
Obviously.
No, I lie. Well, you did see it a couple of times, but that wasn't on Mimi's free will. But let's talk about this movie, because, you know, that's what we're here for. So Mimi, you want to give the plot?
Sure. I'm going to go by their actor names, because it's easier and I can't really pronounce them properly.
See my mom in the background, so cool.
So basically it's Superman. I'm not even gonna call it. Yeah, we had.
So not even the actor's
name.
Just a different character's
I'm gonna call him freaking Superman. Superman being the American spy versus Armie Hammer. What can we say that he's recently done? He did Lone Ranger.
I don't even know. Call him Lone Ranger.
Lone Ranger.
Yeah, I
so
think
we
that's
had the Russian Lone Ranger versus Superman, but not really versus. It wasn't America versus Russia, but it kind of was, and it was awesome because it was macho men being macho men in the '60s. But nuclear war was involved because there's always nuclear war at the '60s. You gotta have nuclear war. And there's Nazis. And I like how they said Nazis. There was Nazis.
Yeah.
The Nazis.
Oh, Nazis.
The Nazis. The Nazis.
The Nazis.
I always have to deal with the Nazis and the British because there's British involved. And it's a fun, action-filled movie that I want to go see again, and I probably will.
I'm sure you will.
Control.
So let's give our good, our bad, our ugly, which I don't think there's a lot, our uncle, whatever. So, I like this movie a lot. I thought it was a really cool popcorn flick. It was fun. If you're looking for like a really bright movie that doesn't take itself too seriously, right after you saw Fantastic Four that took itself too seriously, this is the movie for you. I think the actors are great. I think Cavill really proved that he could play a character besides Superman and play a character post-Superman, which is very important. There's not many Superman actors can do that. They're kind of Superman curse at that point, but he was wonderful,
It's
suave.
totally going to be a sequel. Like, it's set up. My favorite thing about him was the stealing thing. I don't remember him being a thief in the show because it was from 64 to 68. I feel like they didn't do this type of stuff, but it's 2015, so they could. So like he'd do this thing where he'd fall and be like, "Oh no," and like suddenly there's a watch, and then he'd be like, "Oh, you're looking for this," and I'm like, "You sassy bastard."
Yeah, I thought it was he was very suave, which was great, and his English accent, not English,
his so American
accent.
60s accent.
Yeah, it was so great. I think he did a great job. He just really went into the character. I really enjoyed that. So yeah, all the other characters were great too.
He's freaking 6'1" and Armie Hammer 6'5", so they're both very tall men, and it was very funny to see their height differences.
Right.
And also Lone Ranger had a very good thick Russian accent and a good trigger thing for how angry he is, where he'd tap.
Yeah.
Or he'd just go beat people up, and I loved it. It was done very well. I like that he beats up people at random because like he has all these triggers for his traumatic childhood that will totally get revealed more in a sequel. Like, you know, that's going to be part of the plot.
Oh, this is 100% set up for a sequel.
Yeah, and it was a good it's a good setup sequel-y movie.
And I think the sequel would be better just because like this was very much like here's how everyone gets together, and there's like a lot of cool twists and turns, and since this is like kind of a non-spoiler review at this point, we'll get to a spoiler section. Yeah, there's a lot of cool twists and turns throughout the movie, and all the characters are cool. I think that, I mean, what's really cool, well, that'll be in the spoiler portion, but the female characters are cool here.
Yeah, they use their female actors very well. Their costumes were great. My mom was fangirling over the costumes and like
the shots were cool too, and the music was wonderful. I really liked it. It fit the tone of the movie really well.
And like when we saw Django Unchained, we were the youngest people in this audience, and I mean, this one I expected. For this one,
I thought there was. I mean, it's an action film. I thought there'd be a bit more mix, but since it's an old TV show,
it's based off of a TV show from when our parents were kids and like younger, I totally get why it was all adorable old people.
Yeah, and I thought that was kind of cool, and hopefully it'll get its money.
Yeah, I think it will after it deals with the whole Straight Outta Compton thing. I think it will, as this next couple weeks go on. I'm totally gonna take other people and see it. Like, there's no choice.
Yeah, 100%. My only complaint about this movie, non-spoiler complaint about this movie, is probably the length. I do think it's like maybe 20 minutes too long. As like there's some points where I'm like, that scene wasn't really needed, or that scene was a bit too long. I think it did run its course a bit.
He overdoes his stuff sometimes.
Yeah, he overdid it a bit.
I mean, it's better in a way that like after doing an entire class on Scorsese and Tarantino, his pacing is a lot faster than old Scorsese movies.
Oh yeah,
but he totally.
But then he has like really fun.
He totally could have shortened some of his scenes. but it was still like worth it. I think with the next round I'll be like, yeah, that scene could have been shortened, but I was like sitting there like, oh my god, with my mother like next to me like, oh my god. So like,
and me like watching the movie about the same time, like waiting that there's a Civil War trailer. So but yeah, so so that's my negatives. For me, I would give it a 3.75. I think it's a really fun popcorn flick, and I do think a sequel would be better, though, to flesh out the characters even more, but they're all pretty fleshed out for the most part. There is some twists that I was like, I do have some problems with, but we'll talk about that in the spoiler section. So, what is your rating?
I'm gonna give it a happy 5 because I enjoyed it. A happy 5 because like I was pumped for this movie, and like reviews were saying it was gonna. I read one from Variety. They're like, oh man, it lands flat, and I was like, screw you, Variety writer. I ignore your review, which I'm doing right now. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I loved the costumes and the music and the way the actors all worked well together.
It's fun.
It was it was a good, perfect, fun summer movie.
Looking for a good, like, summer flick to end the summer.
It's a good one for that.
We'll see it. I think it was in the right time. It was good. Any other thoughts before we go to spoilers?
I'm trying to think. The drumming thing, not a spoiler, it's a good effect. Anytime Armie Hammer / Lone Ranger needs to go beat someone up or something triggers it, they do this really cool drumming noise that, like, it kind of zooms in on his face and everything kind of gets blurry around him, and you hear the other people talking to him, trying to get him to not do things, and it sounds kind of faint, and I just liked that version of showing how when you're that angry and bad things are going to happen, how you don't really pay attention to the things around you, and I liked that that was used for him, and it's just a cool thing, and also I just loved his height difference with Superman. It was such a cool thing to see, because I'm so used to seeing Superman being so freaking tall, that seeing someone taller than him, and actually, like, the entire movie made it really fun.
Yeah, they had a really fun dynamic. So that's our non-spoiler portion. Now we're going into spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie, don't watch this part, or if you like spoilers, here they are. I was talking about problems, and this is more spoiler. Well, first of all, what was great about this movie is that there was a female villain. I thought that was pretty cool. I thought she was a cool villain. Very like James Bond type villain, but you know, female, so that was cool. But I thought the main girl, she could have done more as an agent, because I was like, really, like, is she an agent, is she not? And then by the end they kind of just throw her in there. It's like, yeah, sure, you're an agent. So yeah, she could have just done more. I thought that she did fall into some tropes, but overall, good female characters.
I loved her dancing drunk.
That was cool.
That was really cute, like, because he was just like, he was just awkwardly standing there, and she was moving his hand, and she'd slap him, he looked really pissed off, and then they wrestled, and like they had the maid in the hotel like walk by, and all you hear is crashing, and then they cuts like them on the floor, and everything's fucking destroyed around them, and that just made me really happy, because that was very entertaining. Right. Oh, and it's not a spoiler. I guess it's a spoiler.
Yeah,
the fact that they had bugs on I knew they were gonna have bugs on each other the entire time, but the fact that they kept on giving each other back their bugs, like, these are faulty American bugs, and he's like, well, these are Russian ones, and they were just like,
and also the twist where, because what I really like about this movie, it doesn't play on like, oh, Russians against America. I mean, we've seen that so many times, especially in obviously this time period. And then it also plays on in the end. It's like, oh, are they gonna betray each other? And then they don't, and they become like kind of good friends.
They're kind of bros, and they just with Hugh Grant walking in, going, such a touching scene with a nice little view and a bonfire to match, and it cut. Like, I was like, why? What did they burn? And then of course they burned the tape. Like, it was good. Of course they have to kill each other. It's like, the Russians are like, oh man, the Americans can't win the arms race, and the Russians can't win the arms race. Whoever gets this thing, just kill the other one. And they were like debating, and they had this whole thing about Armie Hammer's dad's watch.
Oh, that was cool.
That scene with him in the white. There's a scene where Superman comes in and is like, these guys are following you. You better go this way. And by the way, you can't beat them up. Take it like a pussy. And he just looks really pissed off, and then it happens. And then he knocks a dude in the face, like, he gets him in the throat, and the guy, like, stumbles back. He takes his dad's watch and the ring, and he's all pissed. And then, like, after they get all drunk the next night, like, the morning after that whole scene, Lone Ranger gives British spy girl a new ring, and she's like, but it was stolen. And he goes, yes, but your fiance would go out, of course, the morning after and get you a new one. I'm like, you guys are so cute. And like, they're just like almost kissing the entire time, and I'm like, you're gonna be adorable.
There's some this again a lot of setup for a sequel, which I mean is a good thing and a bad thing. But it's like, you're excited for the sequel if it happens, and it should happen, because I think the sequel will be better. But still a fun movie overall. That's pretty much all I wanted to say. Anything you want to say?
I wanted to see the line from the commercials where Superman holds up the shoes and goes, are these mine or yours? And like, there's just because I really wanted
deleted
to
scene.
There's like a
You have to
deleted
get the DVD.
scene. Like I have to. I know I already was, but now I got to.
And there's a lot of good action movies.
I loved
this
their
year.
final fight scene sequence, almost final fight scene sequence, when they're when like, of course, the American takes the tank and the Russian takes the cool motorcycle, and they're each going through the woods to try and get the British spy girl and save her, and like they do pan shots and like Armie Hammer's worried face, and then like Superman's face, like, oh shit, I better get them, and like I liked their whole fight sequence, and also how freaking Armie Hammer rips off the door of the car, the back of the car in the beginning of the movie. He throws a motorcycle at another person. He knocks out 3 guys in a bathroom, and we know that they're all put in the hospital. And he would just beat the crap out of people constantly, and that's kind of what it was like in the TV show from what I saw. But it was adorable just seeing young Ducky. But he didn't have an accent. They didn't have a Russian accent. He didn't have an American accent. Like they were just talking normally.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty cool. Well, for this show, not
for the show. The no accents. For the TV show,
it.
beautiful. For the movie, beautiful accents. Everyone was great.
Yeah, I thought what you were talking about with the opening scene was really cool because it's like non-human. I thought the opening scene was like felt like a different movie, but in a good way.
Yeah.
Because it changed so much. Comedy is good. 3.5 for me. 5 stars for you.
Yes.
And I mean 3.75. And I say go see it if you're in a mood for a cool popcorn flick.
Yeah, it's something that both genders will enjoy.
Yeah,
it's a good one to take to your family, especially if you have people that are
this is a cool
like this is a
family
great
film.
weird family one because there's no really cursing and they don't really show any sex, so little kids can still see this if you want your child to see. Like it's not one where it's like,
and it's cool if you like, I mean honestly for our age, and if you want to see it with your parents,
yeah, it's a cute like come on,
60s.
I'm going back to school, let's go watch a movie,
Yeah.
and like go suck it up and see a cool movie with your family.
Yeah,
like,
sounds cool. So go see it. And this is Comic No Comic Frontline. Go check out Mimi's channel, Morgenstein.
17?
Yeah,
Yeah, you said
Morgenstein
it right.
17. I don't know why, but I was like, oh no, that's your Twitter. But
Nope,
it's the
you're
same
good, you're good.
thing.
I
So
kept
go check out your Twitter too. And go check out Mimi's reviews on comicfrontline.com. So check that out. You're gonna have yours Sunday. So if you're watching this after that, go check it out already. But if you're not, wait and find some cool reviews.
Yeah.
Alright, thank you guys. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to like my Facebook page. Also, description below, there's links for my comic book, Like Father, Like Daughter. And don't forget to like the Facebook page of Like Father, Like Daughter. And we will see you guys later. Bye.